Hey everybody, welcome back to Doc G's Reloading. Today I'm going to talk about my newest addition, which is the lack of a gigantic barrel on here and barrel shroud. Submitted my tax stamp through. So what I did is it costs a little bit more, but I think it's worth it. I am set up through Silencer Shop because my local gun shop has the kiosk already set up, and years ago I went in there and set everything up, and I order all my suppressors pretty much through Silencer Shop. And I went on to Silencer Shop's website and I filled out the form electronically, which is great because they have my fingerprints electronically, they have my photo electronically, they have all the stuff I need to submit a Form 1 to the ATF. So I went online there, and it's $250. I paid, it's usually $200, but they charge you the extra, which I'm fine with, because again, it's submitted electronically and it's no hassle. I'm not kidding you. 3 weeks later, I got the approval. So I am on my 8th month waiting for my first of 3 suppressors, which again are not inherently dangerous in any way. And I'm still waiting, and it's probably going to be closer to 9 to 10 months before I can get my first suppressor, which is waiting for me up at my FFL dealer. But yet they approved this in 3 weeks. So I don't know, go figure. But anyway, so what I just did is I cut the barrel off. It's a shroud over a barrel. So you have to, there's a pin up there too. So I'm not saving a 16-inch barrel, so I didn't care about drilling out the pin or any of that stuff. I just took a hacksaw, chopped it, and shroud came off because you have to cut it well behind the pin, because the pin is where the threads are. So if you cut it like midway down the barrel, you cut through the shroud, then you cut through the barrel, and then you literally just pull everything out. And then what I did is, once I took off the front end where I had cut it, I just slid a cleaning rod through the barrel to keep all the springs in place, because there's a lot of springs in there that you have to keep in place. Including the one in the front. There's one in front that makes this a floating barrel, so it's still a floating barrel, as you can see. But I bought the CMMG 10.4-inch barrel, and I bought their adapter so that I can screw on a suppressor or a flash hider or whatever in the front. So this is now 19 inches from here, from one end to the other. It's a 19-inch bullpup rifle, shooting the 5.7. So, like I said, once I cut through, I slid a cleaning rod through, pulled out the old barrel. The new barrel, you have to buy you got to go to the store and buy, unless you have bicycle tools. If you have bicycle hub tools in metric, then you could do it with those wrenches. But I just went to my local hardware store. As you can see, I had to grind off. You have to grind off sides of it to make it more narrow, because it has to be narrower than your standard wrench. And I'm sorry, it's a 15 millimeter Allen wrench, or 15 millimeter open box end wrench. And then you use this on the flats of the barrel on the inside to hold it while you're tightening this here. And they're left-handed threads, so they're metric left-handed threads. So that's what this adapter does up here from CMMG. And you just, instead of lefty-loosey, it's lefty-tighty. You just snug it down. I put a little bit of blue Loctite on the front, tightened it down on the threads that were on the barrel, because there's external threads in the barrel, obviously. And then I just put some blue Loctite on there, just tighten it down, and ready to go. I mean, this thing is just, now this is the way this gun was designed. It was designed with this barrel. It doesn't come stock that way, obviously, and then, you submit your short barrel form through the ATF and they approve it, and then this is what you end up with. Now, I just have a temporary thread protector on there right now because it's really not working very well. It's a little bit, it doesn't quite cover all the threads. I'd like to have something that covers all the threads, but now, I can just leave a thread protector on there. I could put a little muzzle brake on there if I wanted to. And then I have 2 suppressors here. Both of these are rated for 5.7. This is the Silencer Co. Sparrow, and this is the monocoque. It doesn't have baffles in it. It has the monocoque baffle, which is, you know, those one-piece baffles that you get. I do have to put a little spacer back there because it bottoms out just before with a little bit of thread left. But it comes with a spacer. I just haven't pulled out the spacer yet. But, you know, hand tighten it. I'll put the spacer behind. It'll fill in that little gap there, which is fine. But this is rated for a 5.7. And this one here is a Sig Sauer, the SRD22X. And this one is rated as well for 5.7. You know, I may end up just getting a 5.56 suppressor and getting a direct thread, inexpensive one, just something to throw on here to keep in the case with it, so that I always have one in the case available. I use these 22s a lot, you know, basically on my 22 rifles. So these are pretty much spoken for and kind of committed to the rifles I already have. But, you know, I can certainly take them off, and I can certainly, you know, go out and use them. It would be nice if I had a dedicated suppressor for this one in the case with it. And I could just buy another one of these or another, you know, Sig. I could buy either one. But now that's what that looks like. And how cool is that? You know, you got your full length there, you know, with the suppressor on it. And it's still shorter than it was with the barrel on it, because the barrel was, I think, 26 inches from end to end. This is 19 without it. I don't know what it is with it, but this silencer co is a little bit shorter, so you do gain about 3/4 of an inch, maybe even an inch. Let's see. Yeah, I did 3/4 of an inch. So this is 3/4 of an inch shorter. Now I haven't shot it yet with the short barrel, and I haven't shot it yet with the suppressor on with the short barrel. Plus, it's way too cold here right now where I live. It's still cold. We still have lots of snow, so I'm gonna wait for it to warm up too. I mean, I'll go shoot it, but I want to see when it's a nice hot day how well the suppressor works, because you are gonna get a little bit bigger of a sonic boom with it coming out when it's a little bit colder. But I mean, not much, just a little bit. But I guess it really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, the air temperature, because this is coming out at over 2,000 feet per second. This is about a 2,200. You don't lose really. I think you lose 100 feet per second or less, 50 to 100 feet per second. You lose going from the stock barrel to the 10.4 inch barrel. And this gun again was designed for a 10.4 inch barrel, because it was full auto and you know, and had the ability to take suppressors and everything else. So but regardless, it was a pretty easy process. Again, if you want to save that 16 inch barrel, again, I had no use for it, and once you drill it out, the threads in the front have a big notch cut out of them, because that's where they had to stick the pin in to pin the shroud in place. So it's kind of I mean, unless you're going to reuse that barrel and put on a longer shroud, or put on a shroud that's threaded, you could do that. Like if you live in the People's Republic of California or something like that, you know, you wouldn't be able to, I don't know that you'd get a short barrel for it, but you'd be able to take off the stock shroud, put another shroud on that would have a threading on it so that you could put a suppressor on it. Well, you can't use suppressor in California anyway. What am I talking about? Okay, you could put a shroud on and then put a little muzzle brake or something at the front. I don't know. It's kind of stupid. But so I just want everybody to see how cool this looks. And like I said, since I had no reason to save the barrel, again, just take a hacksaw, cut it off. I mean, I didn't care. It's not like I'm going to reuse it. And it made changing this out very quick. So, but again, this is what it's designed to look like. That's what it should look like. And thanks to the quick completion of my Form 1, I was able to get that barrel and install it. So, all right, and then we got the two suppressors that I mentioned. I'll put those in the description as well. And thanks again for watching Dr. G's Reloading.